This might be the smartest bad idea I've tested all year. Because on one hand, the Huawei Watch Buds 2 solves a real problem. Your earbuds are literally living inside your watch, strapped to your wrist all day long. So in theory, you should never leave home without them. This is genius. But after using it, I kept asking myself one question. Is this actually a great smartwatch with emergency earbuds built in? Or is it a pair of mediocre earbuds hiding inside a very clever smartwatch? Let's get into it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly who the Huawei Watch Buds 2 is for, who should stay far away from it, and whether this weird 2-in-1 gadget is a proper game changer or just a really expensive backup plan. When I first saw this thing in Shenzhen, I thought Huawei had cracked it. A slimmer watch body, brighter screen, titanium build, health tracking, and tiny earbuds hidden under the display. It sounds like something James Bond would wear, right? But then I actually put the earbuds in my ears, turned on the noise cancelling, and that is where the fantasy started wobbling like a cheap garden chair. Let me start with the part I genuinely love, because credit where it's due. The hardware idea is brilliant. Huawei has made this second gen model lighter, slimmer than before. The watch body weighs 54.5 grams without the strap. It's 14.69 millimeters at its thinnest point. And up top, you get a 1.5 inch LTPO AMOLED display with 3000 nits of peak brightness. So yes, this thing should be easier to wear all day long, and it has been. And easier to see outside when the sun's shining, and it has been. And honestly, the main feature never gets old. You press the button and the watch pops open, and there are your earbuds. That little moment feels ridiculous, like in the best way possible. It's one of those pieces of tech that makes normal people stop and go, hang on, what on earth is that? The earbuds themselves are tiny too. Huawei lists them as 4 grams each, and they're magnetically attached into the watch from basically any angle, which means putting them away is easy instead of fiddly. So as a convenience gadget, this thing is definitely a home run. If you're the kind of person who always leaves your earbuds on the kitchen counter, in your car, or buried in yesterday's jeans, this product makes a scary amount of sense. Those are all me, by the way. Now, here is where my experience started going sideways. I jammed these right into my ears. I tried the small, medium, and large ear tips. Huawei gives you all 3 sizes in the box, by the way, and says the fit should help create a proper seal for noise cancellation, which makes sense. But for me, even though I jammed these right into my ears, for some reason I couldn't get the seal right, and that completely wrecked the active noise cancellation. To my ears, the noise cancelling was basically non-existent, and I'm not exaggerating here. I genuinely could not tell a difference between noise cancelling on and noise cancelling off. Awareness mode did let some slight noise in, so yes, technically I could notice that mode changing a bit, but the actual jump between normal and ANC was just not there for me. They included small, medium and large, just didn't get me there, and I don't know if it was that or the fact that the noise cancelling kinda sucks. And that's a massive issue because Huawei is pitching these as proper earbuds with aware mode and noise cancellation modes you can switch between. However, in real life, if I want to compare it to my AirPods Pro 3 or my Pixel Buds Pro 2 or even my Sony XM6 earbuds, these are nowhere near that level for blocking the world out or even letting the world in. Not even close. Those earbuds make the outside world feel like someone just used a dimmer switch to turn the noise down. These felt more like someone politely asked the noise to calm down a bit and no one listened. This kind of leads nicely into the sound quality because this is where I think the Watch Buds 2 becomes very easy to understand. They sound okay, not terrible, definitely not amazing, just okay. And in a weird way that almost matches the whole product. It's the audio equivalent of those, those emergency biscuits you keep in the cupboard that you're glad they're there when you need them because you're hungry, but you don't really want to eat them. I actually think the soundstage is okay again. This word okay is going to be quite prevalent throughout this review. There's definitely more space to the sound than I expected because these earbuds are so tiny, which kind of surprised me. But I didn't find them bassy. And when you start playing around with the bass effects in the menu, because there's 5 preset equalizer settings, it sounds like the earbuds are definitely struggling. Instead of giving you richer low end, it starts to feel a bit distorted, like the tiny drivers are trying to lift something very heavy. Volume is another problem. They just do not go loud enough for my taste. And because the ANC was not doing much in my ears, that lower maximum volume became even more obvious. If outside noise is still creeping in and your earbuds are also not getting particularly loud, that is a bad combo. Huawei's own spec page lists the earbud battery figures in AAC mode, which lines up with this being more of a basic convenience first audio setup than a flagship audio monster. Huawei quotes up to 4 hours of music playback with noise cancellation off and 3 hours with it on. So basically 4 hours. So my overall take is simple. If you ever forget your earbuds at home, these are definitely useful. But I wouldn't choose them over any of the other flagship earbuds for sound quality. Absolutely not, and no one will convince me otherwise. Huawei says the buds use a bone conduction mic and DNN noise cancellation for crystal clear calls, which is alright actually when my testing, it's not too bad. And on the hardware side, the earbuds do handle the mic and speaker duties because the watch itself doesn't seem to have a speaker or a microphone built in. In real life, I think calls are okay. They're not incredible, it's just that word there again. Okay. I guess especially if your main goal is not having to stick your phone to your face and you have nothing else on you, then it's alright. But there is one weird bit of friction that kind of drove me mad. You know how I mentioned there doesn't seem to be a mic and speaker on the actual watch itself? So when you get incoming call, the watch kind of pushes you to taking the earbuds out to handle that. And that feels oddly clunky for something that's supposed to be all about convenience. It's like the product is constantly reminds you, hey, remember, I've got earbuds inside me. Sometimes I don't want to use it. Sometimes I just want to answer my phone on my watch like a normal person. Well, it's normal nowadays, right? So the day-to-day flow is where it just gets a bit annoying. Here's a twist though. I think the watch part is actually pretty decent. You're getting a surprisingly stacked Huawei health package here. Sleep tracking, sleep duration, respiratory rate, heart rate, SpO2, all-day HRV and fatigue monitoring, as well as sleep apnea monitoring, emotional well-being tracking, personalized health insights, and potential arrhythmia alerts. On top of that, you get 90 plus workout modes. It also works with both Android and iPhone through the Huawei Health app. So it's not locked into one ecosystem. So if you have a Chinese phone and you're using it here in the UK, US, or in Europe, then you don't have to worry about Wear OS not working because this will be perfectly fine. So if I separate the two halves of this thing, the smartwatch half feels much more convincing than the earbuds half. Here is the bit Huawei doesn't really spell out hard enough in my opinion. Yes, the company quotes up to 3 days of battery life for the whole device, and up to 3 hours of earbud listening time with noise cancellation on, or 4 hours with it off. But in real life, if you actually use the buds often, so if you're quite forgetful, like me, then it's obviously going to eat away at the watch battery too. So for me, this never really felt like a proper 3-day watch. I found myself charging it more often than not, just because the whole point of the product is that you're dipping into the earbuds regularly. And I had to test it, right? And let me be honest about the earbud battery numbers too. I know Huawei says 3 hours or 4 hours, depending on whether you got ANC on or off. It's actually fine for a quick commute or a few phone calls or even a gym session, right? So you don't have to carry around 2 things and put a case somewhere. But this is not the kind of earbud battery life that makes you feel relaxed. Because if you're constantly using it, you probably have to take the watch charger with you, which is proprietary. So it feels like you're managing a little bit. The crown is the weirdest part because it looks like you should be able to use it to scroll through the menus or even let you adjust volume, right? But it doesn't do either. Even with the earbuds in, you can't just roll the crown to change the volume, which makes it feel like more of a cosmetic feature than actually anything useful. But the controls on the earbuds are actually quite clever, although limited. You can tap the earbuds or the ear out in front of your ear twice to answer or reject a call and to play or pause music. Then there's like a 3 times tap to switch between noise cancelling modes. I'll stop right there because you don't need to use it. There are also custom tap controls you can change it to, but again, very limited. The good news is the watch itself does help here, because Huawei allows you to monitor the earbuds from the watch face and use the watch to pause, play, skip tracks, and adjust the volume. So it's actually useful in that sense. But they're not as flexible as I would want from something pretending to replace your main earbuds. Oh, there is one big catch though, and this is important. This is not the sort of watch I would treat like a normal rugged watch. We've kind of got used to that now with all the watches out there, right? Huawei says the earbuds are IP54 rated, which means it can handle most dust, sweat, and a bit of rain. But don't treat it like a proper waterproof watch. And it specifically warns that water can enter the earbud compartments when the watch cover opens and closes. So you're meant to keep the whole thing dry. That means this fancy little gadget is not the kind of watch you casually forget about in the shower or wear whilst you're going swimming. So definitely don't forget, because I've had some of those notifications come up when it was raining and I was just taking the earbuds out. So watch out for those. So after living with it, I think the Huawei Watch Buds 2 makes perfect sense for one very specific type of person. The forgetful person. The person who's constantly leaving earbuds behind. The person who wants one less thing rattling around in their pocket or bag. For that person, this thing is genuinely clever. It's a backup plan though. You wear it on your wrist all day, and that's really a strong idea. But if you care about noise cancelling, if you care about sound, if you want something louder, or if you already own great earbuds, like the ones I mentioned earlier, then this is not going to be replacing those. Not in my ears anyway. I think it's more for convenience first, audio product second. The Huawei Watch Buds 2 is one of those products I respect more than I love, because the concept is brilliant, the convenience is real, the watch itself, yeah, pretty solid, but the earbuds are the compromise, and that compromise is too obvious for me to ignore. The ANC felt almost non-existent, the fit never proper clicked, the sound is mediocre at best, the bass tuning can get messy, the volume's not high enough, the controls are clever but limited, and once you start using the buds properly, the watch battery drops faster than a lead balloon. So even though Huawei say you can get 3 days out of the watch, you're going to be charging this as often as your Pixel Watch or Apple Watch. So my verdict is simple. If you always forget your earbuds, this might be the smartest insurance policy you can wear. But if you want genuinely great earbuds, buy real earbuds. And I think that is the most honest way to describe it. I hope you really enjoyed this review as much as I did making it. And if you did, make sure you hit like, because it definitely helps the channel. And don't forget to subscribe, because I have a ton more videos coming your way. I'm Maz, and this is MazTechCentral, where I like to keep tech simple and accessible for everyone. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.